Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Miss Master Self 101, where we are learning about the different ways to master ourselves so that we can ultimately master life itself. Today's topic, I am excited to get into it because it is going to be one of the easiest ways, one of the quickest ways, one of the most effective ways to master yourself. And that is by being you unapologetically. So on this episode, we're going to talk about how to move to the beat of your own drum. And I'm going to be giving you 5 different tips on the best ways that you can be yourself authentically on a daily basis. So y'all, if you've seen the last video, I had this new thing where I'm starting up every episode. I'm going to take an affirmation out for us to read through. So whoever this message is for, may the universe bless you. And let's see what we got. When you get an idea, write it down and take the leap. Take action. When you get an idea, write it down and take the leap. Take action. When you get an idea, write it down. Take the leap. No matter how big, how small, just take action. And if I were y'all, I would get you some index cards and start writing these affirmations down and start reading them and reviewing them every single day until it seeps deep, deep, deep down into your subconscious and it just becomes a part of who you are naturally. So guys, before we get into the topic, let's go ahead and take care of our housekeeping duties. If you haven't done so already, please hit that like, subscribe, share the video with a friend, comment, and turn on your post notification bell. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into today. So we're talking about how to move to the beat of your own drum. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic up today is because I feel like there's a lot of people that's out here not being themselves authentically. I feel like everybody's copying everybody nowadays. Everybody want to look the same. Everybody want to talk the same. They want to sound the same. They want to dress the same. They want to do their makeups the same. They want to get their bodies done the same. They want to move the same. Where is the individuality? Hello? You know what I'm saying? It's okay to be different, love. You don't have to be the exact same. You don't have to move how everybody moves. You don't have to think how everybody thinks. That's why you have your own mind, because you are supposed to think how you want to think, when you want to think, and whatever it is that you want to think. Nobody else governs your mind, only you. So let's get into these tips. We're going to go through them, each one of them. We'll talk about them. And guys, tell me what you think in the comments. So, tip number 1, always be your own individual. Individuality is attractive, okay? Did you hear me? Individuality is attractive. You being yourself, you being different is attractive. You standing out of the crowd is attractive. Do you hear me? Don't let anybody else make you think any otherwise. I know a lot of people want to, I don't know how often it's done now, because I feel like being weird is more accepted now in this generation. But back when I was growing up and I was younger, people always called you out on things that are specific to you. Like they try to bully you over things that sometimes you have no control over, whether that be you being weird, whether that be you being awkward or quirky, you know what I'm saying? Things like that, you don't have any kind of master or control of it, or at least not until you gain the control over your mind first. And it makes you feel like something is wrong, doesn't it? It kind of makes you want to hold back and not be you because you don't want to be judged. I feel like that's why some people are shy. And I also feel like that's why some people are more nonchalant. I don't think it's I think that there's some people that are nonchalant, but I don't think that everybody that is claiming to be nonchalant is. I think that people are just afraid of being judged. They don't want to be themselves because maybe something happened before in the past where they did something or they were a certain type of way and people probably ridiculed them about it and just completely embarrassed them and made them feel really, really bad about it, and they don't want that again. So they prefer to just, stick to themselves and keep their mouths closed and keep their personality just to them or to only their loved ones, the people who they really like rock with for real. I think where that stems from that. And I'm always going to say that everything starts in the mind, because it does. This is where you have to do some mental conditioning. You have to unlearn the fact that who you are is okay, it's beautiful, it's sexy, and it's attractive. You being different is sexy and it's attractive, okay? If you start repeating those affirmations, like who I am is sexy and attractive, my weirdness is sexy and attractive, my awkwardness is sexy and attractive. If you start saying that to yourself and you start repeating it over and over again every single day, it will seep down into your subconscious. It will start creating the new thinking patterns, which are neural pathways that are created inside of your brain. And each time you may think, of your weirdness or your quirkiness, your mind and your body automatically goes to, my weirdness is sexy and attractive. And what that does for you is boost your confidence. Not only does it change your brain's way of thinking, but it also changes your way of feeling. You begin to feel more attractive. You begin to feel more confident. You begin to boost your self-esteem. Okay? Individuality is attractive, especially in a generation where everybody wants to be the same. Let's be real. When people get a little bit of money, people start going to get their bodies done. It's like they get their hair done with the same styles at the same place. The faces always look the same. The makeup's starting to look the same. Like, I see two different women and I'm like, dang, is this such and such? Dang, she looked like such and such right here in this photo. And it's not that they really look alike or have similarities, but it's more so the makeup. I mean, the makeup is bomb. Come on now. Clock that T. It is bomb. However, it all looks the same. Is everybody going to the same makeup artist? Is everybody watching the same makeup tutorials on YouTube, and that's why everybody is walking around looking the same? You know what I'm saying? People want to get rid of things that make them different. And that's actually like, that's something I don't understand, because when I think about models, right? A lot of models, they have features on them that are unique to them. And that's what makes them so different, so alluring, so attractive. And it just kills me that people want to change the way they look completely. And then they all end up looking the darn same at the end. I just don't get it. Be yourself. Be who you are. Learn to enhance your beauty. Learn to enhance who you are. Learn to accept the qualities that you hold. And you walk into them fully. You step into them fully confident, right? If you accept you, everybody else around you has no choice but to accept you. And for those who are not willing to accept you, you are going to automatically repel them, because your confidence and your vibration is so high when it comes to this, that those people don't stand a chance in your presence. They will naturally move and be repelled away. So keep that tip in mind, y'all. Individuality is attractive. Always be yourself. Tip number 2. I love this one. You do not have to explain yourself. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to explain yourself to anyone unless you're under arrest or under oath, or God came down and he started asking you questions himself personally, if that's what you believe in, because I'm not forcing anything on anyone. I'm just saying, you do not owe anyone an explanation. This is hard for people to do sometimes, because I know it makes you kind of uncomfortable, especially when you have real pushy people and pokey people. So, for example, let's say you're on the phone talking to a friend, right? And let's say the conversation is dull and you want to get off the phone, you want to go do something else, or you have something else to do, but you don't want to tell what you're doing. And you say, all right, well, I got to go, so I'm going to talk to you later. And they go, why? What you got to do? I'm just going to go. Is there a problem? Why do I have to give you an explanation? Or here's a good one. This one happened to me literally about a week ago. A new neighbor moved into my complex near me, right? And I'm outside walking my dog, and he saw me. So he approaches me, and he begins to talk to me. But I didn't like his approach at all, and I wasn't attracted to anything at all, right? And he goes, so can I get your number so I can like take you out to dinner or something? And I was very nice, and I was very polite with it. I was not nice nasty. I was very nice with it. I said, no, thank you, but you have a good day. And I gave him a really nice smile, right? He gave me this one look. And then he was like, so what do you mean? Why can't I have your number? Why? And you know, inside me now, the meanness, I could feel it brewing up. You know, I could feel the smartness literally about to leave out of my lips. And I'm still trying to keep it cute and keep it nice, you know, because we're neighbors. And I'm like, listen, I'm good. And he asks me a third time, why? I said, I'm just not available, but you have a good day, okay? And I walked right on the way. You do not owe nobody no explanation. Don't let people poke you and probe you into questioning. Girl, you ain't under no oath. You're not on stance. This is not an investigation. You don't owe anybody anything, and that goes for anything, and that goes for anyone. Being you is deciding when you want to speak up. It's deciding when you want to move. It's deciding when you want to take action. And when you do decide to do so, being you is deciding how you want to express that. No one can ever take that away from you. Always be you unapologetically. Now, it's true that sometimes we may not express ourselves in the most healthiest, most ethical, most legal way sometimes. However, that's where self-reflection and analysis comes in, and you actually taking action within yourself to move forward to be a better person. Like what we're doing right now, mastering self. But y'all, you don't have to give anybody an explanation. I feel like nowadays people just love instant gratification because things are just so, you know, it's so easy to get things nowadays. It's not as hard as it used to be before. You know, it's just a click away. It's literally just a Google away to get the information that you want. And that satisfaction, that instant satisfaction and gratification, it does something on the inside. So you guys remember, everything is biological. And this is why it's important to learn the body and understand how it works. When you feel really good, when something happens and it makes you feel really good and it makes you happy, you're actually releasing hormones. You're releasing endorphins, which are good feeling hormones. So when you release those hormones, those are what make you feel good. And that's also what makes you crave it again, whatever it is. Dopamine is one of those hormones. And dopamine is the hormone that is released when you do like drugs. People take hard drugs or drink alcohol or, you know, whatever. I ain't judging nobody, you know, to each his own, but that's the hormones that is released. That's why it feels so good. And that's also what makes the mind want to chase after that same feeling again. So I feel like nowadays that instant gratification, it just makes people want it so bad. And they feel like they have to have it now, which is wild to me. But I'm here to tell you that you do not owe anyone an explanation. And you got to own that. You have to stand in that. When you tell somebody no, no is no. You don't back down from it. You don't shy from it. You don't mumble. You don't stumble. You don't stutter. You know, I said no. Do it with a smile. I said no. And at first, sometimes this is hard to do. So you might have to practice it, y'all. Like when you get by yourself, get in the mirror. The mirror is very magical. It's very powerful. You get inside that mirror and you start practicing how situations may play out and how you can react to it. When you start practicing like that, again, that signals the subconscious. These kind of movements and thoughts go down into the subconscious so that when and if the situation does arrive, arise in actuality, like in real life, your mind and your body automatically knows how to respond to it because you have already practiced. This is also a technique that a lot of public speakers use when they practice before their speech. They go in front of the mirror and practice. So guys, if this is something for you that feels uncomfortable, like saying no, or, when even after you say no and somebody says, okay, well, why? And you don't have a rebuttal, and then you like, and start stuttering, and you don't think quick on your feet, practice in the mirror. And remember, you can always just say, I just don't want to. It's just that simple. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And if you say it politely, and you add a little body language in there, and you can be very convicting with just that, because it is what it is. You don't owe anybody anything at the end of the day. And if you need to be nasty with it, you don't always have to be nice. You can be nice, nasty, and you can just be nasty. You can be nasty, nasty with it, depending on the circumstances and the situation. But again, that's why you are you. Be you unapologetically. Number 3, tip number 3. Ooh. Sometimes people will not like you just because, and that is okay. This is a very big tip in the world, especially when you are transitioning from a young adult to an adult. Sometimes people just won't like you, and that is okay. That's not your business. It's not your prerogative to find out why. It's not supposed to be sitting and lingering on your brain, wondering why this person doesn't like me and why they're treating me this way. That's not your business. That's theirs. And I think if a lot of people could just adopt that mentality to just be able to project whatever somebody else projects to you back to them, people will be a lot more carefree, and they won't be as bothered, because I've been around some people, and they can't take it when things like, if somebody doesn't like them, like they can't take it. Like they're just always timid, and they're always wondering and always talking about it and always saying what if and acting awkward and uncomfortable. They just can't take it, right? And those kind of people, if you are one of those kind of people, practice is key, reputation is key, and I feel like you're gonna have to do some mental you're gonna have to do some mental unlearning and relearning for sure. Probably using affirmations, doing some affirmations that instills confidence and self-esteem in yourself, because I feel like when you're around and you feel like, oh my God, like I can't be myself because I don't know why this person doesn't like me, or why this person is treating me or said this type of way to me, that lacks some sort of self-esteem. There's a lack of self-confidence there. That's why I says you need to do some unlearning and relearning, specifically through affirmations. It's the quickest and easiest way. It gets to the subconscious, and it works like magic. Because you're lacking some type of self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem. There's some type of lack there. Just pour into one of those 3, or all 3 of those, actually, the triple dynamic. Pour into those, and it should get a lot easier for you to be able to handle uncomfortable situations, whether for a fact someone doesn't like you or not. Because the reality of it is, y'all, sometimes people hate you because they see something in you that they want in themselves, and they can't get to it, or they feel like they can't get to it, or they feel like they don't have it, or they don't possess it. So in reality, they're actually envious of you because you have, or you are, or you're doing and being what they feel like they can't be, what they feel like they want to be. And so those feelings of self-hatred, because that's really what it is for them, it projects, and they project that onto you to make you feel some kind of way, or to make you feel some kind of uncomfortable, so that you can come off of your high horse. No, ma'am. No, sir. project that right on back to them and carry on about your day. You got to realize that. You got to be able to recognize that. That's where discernment is going to come from. And that's going to take some time. It's going to take some wisdom and some experience. But once you get it, that's where discernment comes from. When you notice that somebody just comes around you and they just, I don't know, something's off, they just don't like you, or, you know, you just get weird energy from them, they're projecting. It's something. It's something that you got. I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's something that you have that they want and they feel like they can't get to it, so they're jealous. But that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to still be you. Never dim your light for anyone. Never. When you dim your light for somebody else, when you slow down to someone else's pace, you are almost slapping the universe in the face, because your life is moving the way that it is and it's progressing the way that it is based off of you, your mind, and your desires. So if you're moving a certain way, if you're glowing, if you're elevated, you know, money's coming in well, life is good for you, maybe you just got married, had children, you know, it's just everything is moving so well for you because you deserve it, because you worked for it, because you thought for it, and you got it, right? You never slow that down. When you slow that down, you're telling the universe, ooh, this is too much, universe. I ain't want all of this. I know I asked for it specifically, just like how it's happening and unfolding, but this is too much for me right now, because I'm going to have to dim my light for this other person so that I could humble myself, so that they could feel a lot more comfortable about themselves and where they are. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? Okay. Nothing else needed to be said about that, right? Correct. So sometimes people will not like you just because they just won't like you. And depending on what you believe, sometimes I feel like there's something spiritual behind that as well. Sometimes I feel like when you really meet somebody and you literally don't do anything to them, like they maybe just be in your presence, or they look at you and they just act like they don't like you or care for you, maybe somewhere deep down you guys crossed paths in another lifetime somehow, and you were enemies, and now you're crossing paths again in a whole completely another lifetime. But spirit still recognizes spirit. Energy doesn't lie. So now you have that conflicting energy still going on. I don't know. You know, that's just how I feel with some of these situations. That's what I see, and that's just how I feel. And I know I can't be the only one. Okay. All right, y'all, we have 2 more tips. Tip number 4. Peer pressure is real. Peer pressure, when I hear peer pressure, for some reason it makes me smile, and it's funny, just because I've always heard about peer pressure, you know, growing up as a child, like in school. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a bear. I don't know what his name was, but it was the song, and it was Dare to Be Different. Dare to be different. Do what's right. Somebody get that for me. I would love to see just the visual of it again. But y'all, peer pressure is real. Peer pressure is just not for kids. It's just not for teenagers. It happens in adulthood as well. You have people coming around you, right? Say you're in a group around folks and everybody's doing the same thing. You know, it can be as simple as you guys went on a trip and somebody brought up, let's do skydiving or let's do zip lining. You're terribly afraid of heights. You really don't trust zip lining. You know a friend who went on a zip lining and had almost a very traumatic experience and almost lost their lives. So you're strongly against it, right? But you grow with a group of friends, and these group of friends are daredevils. So they're with it. And they're trying to convince you and saying, oh, it's nothing, look, such and such going. They're showing you other people that has gone and done it and trying to get you comfortable, and you still saying, no, I don't know. So now at this point, they start ridiculing you. I mean, it's all cute jokes and fun and games, but now they start ridiculing you. They start saying, oh, you little chicken and all of that. And you know how people do. Y'all know they be saying little slick stuff, right? So now you know, depending on your ego and how your pride is set up and how strong your fear is. So now you feeling a little prideful. Now your ego starting to kick in. Now you know what? I'm not no chicken. I could do this. I got this, right? So now you go and now you done peer pressure to go do something that you don't want to do. And hopefully you do it and you come out just fine and you had a good time. But suppose you do it and you get up there at the top and you look down and all your true feelings start crashing in at the same time. But now it's too late because they done pushed you out and now you zip lining and now you out there passing out every 2.5 seconds. All because of peer pressure. Peer pressure is real, and that is so simple. We're not even on the topic when it comes to using drugs and alcohol. Now that's the real peer pressure. Oof, alcohol, take this shot. Everybody around you in a circle, they all got their shot of Henny, or for me it's tequila. They all got their shots going around, and there you see everybody partaking, even the person who usually don't drink and do shots, even they got them a little shot and they about to take it. So now you feel like I have to because I have to fit in with. No, you don't. That's peer pressure, love. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's literally that simple. You govern your own life. You govern your own mind. This is your world. This is your journey. You are your main character of your own life. You make your own decisions. You don't get peer pressured by anyone else or anything else. And let me give you another example. Back when we had COVID, nobody knew what the heck COVID was. Everybody was afraid. God bless those souls who passed away during that pandemic. Lots of people had different health complications and all those sorts. And all of that fear and watching that, going on surrounding you, it made many people very fearful for their lives. And it ultimately forced them into getting vaccinated. Even people who are super strict on immunizations, they live the most natural and holistic life. They take absolutely no over-the-counter medications, no pharmaceuticals. They don't believe in the Western medicine. Even some of those folks felt so pressured to get this vaccination. Folks who were essential workers working in hospitals and nursing homes and assisted living facilities were forced to get the vaccination. And if they didn't get the vaccination, they were not able to work in that facility any longer. That too, my friend, was a form of real peer pressure. And for those who felt like you had to do it, I get it. I understand. I truly do. And sometimes, you just have to do what you have to do, especially when you have to you have to think quick on your feet. So you make the best decision for you. And I'm a firm believer in when you have to think quick on your feet, the first decision that comes to your mind, that's the one that you need to take for you. That's going to be the best for you. So you did what you needed to do. This is your journey. Be you unapologetically. And for those of you who stood strong and were very firm when it came to that stance of no thank you, like myself, I salute you, love. Because that was a real situation of peer pressure. Be you. Make your own decisions. At the end of the day, you don't have to do something because you don't have to do something just to fit in. You know what I'm saying? You can be the oddball. That's okay. Yeah, they may have a little couple of comments, but you're doing what you're doing for a reason, and you know why you're doing what you're doing for a reason. Stand firm in that. Be confident in that. If you're not that confident in it yet, or you feel like you still need a little bit help with it, use affirmations. Write them down on some cards. If you don't have cards, use some pieces of paper. Review them, say them to yourself. Think it, say it out loud every single day until it instills in you, and that is who you are. You do not have to do anything that you don't want to do. All right, y'all, for our final tip, always move out of self-confidence and love. So first and foremost, how are you going to build up your self-confidence and self-love if you feel like you're lacking and it's not where it needs to be? Number one, I'm always going to say it, affirmations. Affirmations allow you to be consistent and repetitive. That is the key. That is the magic. Repetition is key. Consistency is key. That's what affirmations do for you. And they're convenient. You can always bring them on the go. You can always customize them to yourself and put whatever you want to be, do, or have on those affirmations. Say them to yourself over and over. Say them in the morning, first thing when you arise. Say them in the nighttime as the last thing on your mind before you go to bed, and watch the magic happen. And it will happen very quickly. Affirmations. How else are you going to build up that self-confidence and that self-love? Start pouring more into yourself. Start doing more for yourself. Start doing more acts of love for yourself. Whatever that looks and feels for you, it is going to be different for everybody. I am a herbalist. I love my babies. I love my plant. This is my lucky bamboo, and it's tall. It's like 6 feet now at this point, and when I first got it, it was like 4 feet. Okay? This is one of the ways that I pour into myself, by taking care of my plant. That is a form of self-love for me. Making these videos for you guys is a form of self-love for me, because I feel like this is everything that I've learned in my own experience, and I'm able to share it with other people, so it adds on to you. It gives you a little sprinkling onto you, right? It lifts you up. That feels good to me. And then I can always come back to these videos and rewatch them if I need to, and that lifts me up. It's just a process, a gift that keeps on giving, right? Self-love can look like going to the gym, eating clean, getting all your water in, taking your vitamins, going on a walk with your pet, taking yourself shopping, journaling, maybe taking up a new hobby, setting goals for yourself and actually completing those goals, going to therapy, going swimming, taking off days from work when you need to. Use that PTO up when you need to. Mental health days are essential and necessary. That's all forms of self-love and whatever else you want to add onto that list. But start pouring into yourself on a daily basis. It is necessary. And it's not hard. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing for you, so it's going to feel good. So it's going to make you want to do it even more. Let's see. How else can we build up our self-confidence and our self-love? Work on your appearance. As a woman, your appearance is everything. It's the first thing that you see, and it's the first thing that everybody else sees. Work on your appearance. Elevate your appearance in every way. You can start with your wardrobe. It doesn't have to be expensive. It can be pieces that are cost effective, but they look expensive. Go to stores like Ross, Burlington, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. Excellent department stores where you can find some bomb pieces, okay? Work on your hair. Get your hair done. If you can't afford to get your hair done, watch some YouTube videos and learn something for yourself. Get wigs. Get good quality wigs so that they last long and they always look good, and learn to install them yourself. If you have the money and if you have the time, go get your hair done. Get your nails done. Many women love that. Men love to see that on women. You know, women love to see that on women. Everybody loves to see that on women. Everyone loves to see women soft and feminine and beautiful. Amp up how you smell. Work on your scents. Leave that body spray mess alone. Leave that Bath and Body Works and that Victoria's Secret. Leave that mess alone. That was high school days. Leave that alone. Amp it up. Get you some real nice perfume. I love ouds and I love Arabian perfumes. They're very strong. You don't need a lot. 1 to 2 pumps is all you need, and will have you smelling so different. Get scents that are different, not the same scents that everybody keeps wearing over and over. However, scents do smell slightly different on every single person because you have your own natural smell and scent, your pheromones. So that perfume is going to mix with your own pheromones to give off your own individual scents. But find different scents to wear. Explore. Amp up your makeup. You don't have to do much. I don't have much on right now. I literally have on no foundation. My eyebrows need to be waxed. I do not have them done. All I have on is a little bit of liquid eyeliner, some eyeshadow underneath, and some lipstick. And it makes me feel so good. And that's the point. You need to feel good. That's how you feel. That's how you build that self-love and the confidence, is by feeling good. Looking gets you there the quickest. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, dang, I do look really good, then that makes you feel good as well. That's always the key. What else for parents? Do your at-home spa days. Soak your feet. Get you some of those pumice stones and get that dead skin off. Wrap your feet up and put on some socks at night. Always oil your body down in coconut oil after a shower when your body is damp so it seeps into your pores. Get you a good face routine. Find you a good cleanser. Get a toner. Get a serum. Get a moisturizer. Get some primer for the days you want to wear makeup and some setting spray. You know, just amp yourself up. That's how you pour into yourself, literally. The more you pour into yourself, it also allows you to pour more into others. When you pour more into others, that makes them feel good about themselves, and they turn around and they pour not just more into themselves, but they also pour more into other people. And it just keeps coming back and forth like ping pong, and it circulates till it reaches masses. So, those are my tips that I have for you guys on how to be you unapologetically and how to move to the beat of your own drum. Thank you again for tuning in, guys. If you have not already, be sure that you have subscribed to the channel and hit that like, comment, tell me what you think about the video, any kind of comments, ideas of what you have, and tell me about some ways that you pour into yourself. Tell me about some ways that you keep it real with yourself and you continue to be you an individual. Love you.